Hi, and welcome to Mindful, Beautiful, and Thriving, a podcast series by Tharaka Foundation focused on youth mental health. Before we begin today's episode, I just wanted to let you all know that all content that is found in our podcast is created for informational purposes only. This content is not intended to be a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, treatment, or therapy. Always seek the advice of your physician or other qualified health provider with any questions you may have regarding a medical condition, and never disregard professional medical advice or delay in seeking it because of something you have heard in this podcast. Thank you so much, and without further ado, let's get started.
Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Mindful, Beautiful, and Thriving. It's Seerat here with Anya, and today we'll be talking about how to deal with loneliness when you feel left out or don't fit in with others.
There are many people who try to deal with loneliness, whether it is in a school setting, with a group of friends, or in the workplace. Someone is always bound to feel a little bit lonely. This has caused a loneliness epidemic. Loneliness is growing at alarming rates, with many adults having only a few friends and spending less and less time with them.
You might be wondering, why is it classified as an epidemic? Well, it's an epidemic because loneliness is far more than just a bad feeling. It harms an individual and societal health, and the amount of people who have suffered because of it have a higher risk of life-threatening problems like cardiovascular disease, dementia, stroke, depression, anxiety, and premature death.
Now, let's talk about some causes and effects of loneliness. Some common causes are the COVID pandemic, moving to a new place to school, and low self-esteem.
The most common cause of loneliness has been the COVID quarantine. Lockdown was a big change for me because I had lots of friends and activities outside of home and met my friends daily. And then I had to change to being home all day and only seeing my friends online. But during lockdown, I discovered new interests like reading, which helped me connect and make more friends. Although it did help me make new friends, it also made us more lonely, especially if someone had to quarantine for 2 weeks when they got COVID.
Also, moving to a new school or place can cause some loneliness. For example, when I went to middle school and later high school for the first time, I felt a lot smaller than I felt before. But I made more friends and I felt more like part of a community. Moving to a new place can cause loneliness by being a big change in someone's life. It impacts one's schedule and routine and changes the people environment around them and can make them feel small. It's as if you're drifting on an endless sea looking for someone or something familiar. But this is an experience that makes us stronger and more resilient to changes.
Another cause is low self esteem. When someone has low self esteem, they feel like they're not worthy and have less confidence, which makes them shy. Because of having low self esteem, sometimes people get upset and experience emotional isolation because their sense of value is low and their well being depends on other people. And that makes people even more lonely.
Dealing with loneliness can be challenging, but with the right approach and mindset, you can navigate through this difficult emotion and find a sense of connection and fulfillment. First and foremost, it's important to acknowledge and accept your feelings of loneliness without judgment. Remember that feeling lonely is a natural human experience, and everyone goes through it at some point in their lives. Be compassionate towards yourself and understand that it's okay to feel this way.
One effective way to cope with loneliness is to actively seek out social interactions and build meaningful connections with others. Engage in activities or join groups that align with your interests and values. Whether it's a hobby club, a community organization, or support group, these environments provide opportunities to meet with like minded individuals who may become friends or companions. Don't hesitate to reach out to old friends or acquaintances, as rekindling past connections can also help combat loneliness.
Additionally, focus on cultivating a positive relationship with yourself. Embrace solitude as a chance for self discovery or personal growth. Engage in activities that can bring you joy and fulfillment, such as pursuing hobbies, exercising, or learning something new. Practicing self care and self compassion can be empowering and can help you develop a strong sense of self worth, reducing the impact of loneliness.
Technology can also be a useful tool to combat with loneliness. Social media, online forums, or virtual communities can connect you with people who share similar interests or experiences. However, remember to balance virtual interactions with real-world connections to ensure a more general sense of belonging.
Lastly, consider seeking professional help if loneliness becomes overwhelming or persistent. Speaking with a therapist or counselor can provide valuable insights and coping strategies to navigate through loneliness effectively. Remember, loneliness is a temporary state, and by taking proactive steps to help build those connections, fostering self compassion, and seeking support when you need it, you can develop the resilience to overcome loneliness and embrace a more fulfilling and connected life.
In conclusion, loneliness is something everyone goes through, so never feel like you're alone. You can connect with people online, talk to people who share the same interests and values as you, and spend more time with your existing friends. Thank you so much for listening, and we hope you enjoyed and learned something new in this podcast.
You are listening to Mindful, Beautiful, and Thriving, a podcast series by Tharaka Foundation. As part of our youth series, we will be releasing new episodes every Friday, so make sure to continue to check those out. We hope you enjoyed this podcast, and thank you so much for listening.